Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Movie Madness. Here as part of the NEC family of podcasts. NEC, as I'm sure you know by now, stands for New England Clam Chowder. I'm joined by two individuals that are movie aficionados, to say the very least. Experts, if you will. Siskel and Ebert eat your heart out. I'm not sure if both of them are even alive, so they're doing much better.
No, I believe Ebert is quite dead.
All right, Ebert's been the one that's been gone for quite a while, and I think Siskel's had some health problems.
His chin's been gone even longer.
All right, well, you know what? It's like a pumpkin a couple of weeks after Halloween. What are you going to do? I could only be talking about Stevie Swampscott and Kyle, the Independent. They are the movie co-hosts here on Movie Madness. It is a pleasure to have you here with us. There's so much going on. Summertime is usually one of the busiest times of the year. It almost looks like, Steve, you're trying to for Cecil the Lion's crotch. Is that what you're peeking at?
No, I was looking at the audio mixer.
Oh, all right. Well, I can respect that. And Kyle, are you looking at Cecil's crotch?
I'm also looking at the audio mixer.
All right. Well, there we go. All right. Well, we have about 10 minutes to discuss the introduction to this show.
Okay.
And I don't know what else we can introduce at this time.
You know what? I think we should cut the introduction down.
You think we should just trim it a little bit?
I don't think it can be 10 minutes.
There's nothing else you have to add to the introduction?
I think we can spend the next 10 minutes talking about changes to the introduction, but you know what?
I know you're fluent in French. Would you like to do the introduction to the show for our viewers in France?
You're actually?
I'm not fluent, but...
Pretty close.
Here, hand me the script.
The bottom part, please.
This is his party trick.
All right. I'm gonna paraphrase this because I can't say this word for word, but bienvenue tout le monde, les Movie Madness. Je suis Dan. I was just gonna say that in a French accent. I don't know how to say the rest. I guess
you know nothing else.
Avec moi, c'est Steve Swampscott, Kiel. Le Indépendant, c'est en premier épisode. Nous sommes nouveau. Fuck. I'm forgetting
That's
my
not
conjugations.
I'm going to upset all the sponsors.
Ah, putain.
Now, how much did you actually get? Now, we've gone from you being fluent to knowing about 4 words.
How would we know?
I said, welcome welcome everyone, which directly translates to all the world, to Movie Madness. My name is Dan. Joining with me are Steve Swampscott and Kyle the Independent. This is our first episode.
This is the pilot.
And that's all I got.
This is the 17th pilot. But that's a different story for a different time.
Really? We've been through 16 previous iterations.
Well, pretty close. It feels that way. Now, how would you say treasured classics in French?
Les classiques des trésors.
les classiques magnifiquement. Or
close.
something like that.
Right,
I don't know.
Apparently,
I probably butchered that.
We're supposed to discuss some of these treasured classics.
You're not a very confident French speaker.
Well, I haven't spoken it in a while. And,
I kind of put him on the spot.
I'm sort of in the process of learning Japanese, so sometimes I get my words confused.
How would you welcome people in Japan to NEC?
I don't fucking know.
You don't fucking know. All right, well, that's honest. Now, you didn't mention to the listeners in French how you'd say New England clam chowder. How would you introduce it to your friends in France?
I would probably just say New England clam chowder.
But, I mean, you'd have to add a little French to that.
I mean, I could...
Bonjour. It's about the extent of my knowledge of French.
No, there's titles of stuff you can't really translate, you know?
You'd have to say New England clam chowder.
Yeah, especially because it has the pun of chowder and chata, and I don't know if that would translate well.
You can't really say the accent in French.
No.
All right. Well,
like in French, putain directly translates to whore, but they use it like fuck, so...
All right. How do you say it again?
Piton.
Now I know.
Piton? Well, it looks like a piton just walked in. But anyway, international blockbusters is something we're supposed to talk about. How would you tell the French listeners about international blockbusters?
Les films... I don't remember how to say international. No. Yeah. Let's end this little skit.
Well, you know, it's a good thing this is another pilot. For Christ's sakes, I'll tell you, on NEC, we got more pilots than American Airlines, but what are you going to do? We got scripts galore. There we go. Did I not do a good job the other day, Kyle, on the drums?
You were fantastic.
Tell the people at home just exactly what I did to
Dan
contribute.
hit one whole cymbal And it
The
was
entire
glorious.
symbol, not
The
just
en-
one part.
The entire thing.
And I was very proud of it. I don't think you included it in the music video.
Unfortunately, no.
Was that part
I
of
wasn't
the
recording.
corrupted angle?
Well, you know what? It'd be hard to be included then.
Yeah.
Maybe you can draw a picture of me, you and your friend Nick's wild drawings.
Yeah.
You can try and reincarnate me going,
Do some stop motion.
there you go. There you go, a little stop motion. I like that. Well, we're having a bonus pilot episode of Neck because of the unfortunate situation with WWE superstar Zeb Coulter being hospitalized in Nashville, Tennessee. So I wouldn't want to quite call this rape, but we had this forced podcast thrown upon us. We really weren't planning for or anticipating, but that's what makes them kind of fun. So we hope Zeb gets better soon and makes it here too. MWF Studios, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, the zip code of champions, 02176.
Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Okay.
And we won't even get into some of the issues we had with the hall that our executive producer would like to rent to showcase his first feature film. Even though his first short, as we mentioned in one of the previous pilots,
Got lost.
Well, it certainly was midnight for midnight. But again, that's a different story for a different time. The lights went out at midnight. It turned into a pumpkin. All right, let's go on here. I think we almost probably got close to 10 minutes out of that bullshit.
I would
Isn't that
hope.
something? I was kind of determined to at least nudge it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, what is the show about? Well, we're going to talk about movies, if you didn't figure that out right now, even though I don't think we've talked about anything that resembles a movie as of yet, other than hinting about international blockbusters in French.
That's about as close as we got so
It's about
far.
as close
Yeah.
as we've got.
Well, this is a specific part of Neck.
And in case I missed it in the introduction, I think I hit it, but Movie Madness is a part of the Neck podcast family. Now, apparently this is really growing. There was a lot of reproduction in the Neck podcast family. I don't know. I'm still waiting to find out more, like all the viewers at home, I'm sure, with great anticipation after how this, yet another pilot, has opened. Well, we watched movies in theaters, both new movies and classics that we watched in theaters. What have you seen most recently, if anything different from the last pilot?
Still the most recent movie I've seen is John Wick 3 in theaters.
And did you see John Wick 3?
No, I haven't seen any of the John Wick films.
Well, you know what? You're not missing. Well, I can't speak for the first two, but you're not missing much. I thought it was awful. I was confused as to what I was seeing. It had some interesting visuals, but as far as a story I could follow, there was nothing. I'm sure you were probably beating on the chair like they were drums. You were so anxious to leave.
wanted to. I would much rather do that than sit through that movie again.
Why did you
Really?
go to see it?
Because I remember liking the first two, but I don't know. I might have to rewatch them under a different lens. Because everyone who likes the first two seemed to like this one as well. So unless I'm just misremembering them and they're also bad, but I mean I remember liking the first two, so I don't know.
So I probably wouldn't have liked the first two if I didn't like this one.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean I don't know. I was watching it thinking like, were the first two this bad? Like, am I crazy or am I just misremembering the first two? I had this weird like crisis of faith in my head of like, I don't remember the first two being this bad. It's weird.
Now, did you see any of the John Wicks? I think you already said no.
No, I haven't seen any of them, but I've heard
You didn't
nothing
miss
but
much.
good stuff about them. So
Really?
I'm
Well, I'm gonna tell
surprised
you,
at
at least the third
two-
one was
two
horrendous.
John Wick
Awful.
bad reviews.
Pathetic.
I wouldn't say it was like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it was definitely bad.
On
I've
a-
seen much worse, but it was bad.
There was nothing to make it say it was good, and there was nothing to make it say it was bad. It just kind of existed.
Yeah, it's like a 4 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, would you watch it again?
No,
All right. Definitely not for me either. All right.
there are bad movies that I watch again just because they're funny, and this is not one of them.
It's not going to become a classic like The Room.
Yeah,
it was not bad enough to be enjoyably bad. It was
Correct,
just
correct.
bland.
yeah,
It was like a rice cake.
yeah.
All right.
If I were to watch it again, I'd just fast forward through a bunch of it.
Till what, the end credits? And then say, I did it. I accomplished it at the theater and on DVD.
I guess so.
All right. Well, anything else? I know we had kind of talked about going to add movies to talk about, but I don't think we planned on another pilot. I think we planned on an
No.
actual episode next
No,
week.
I
but-
think we wanted to get some more movies under our belts.
All right. Well, let's talk about what's under your belt. Anything new since the first of the pilots?
Well, I haven't seen any movies recently. I don't watch movies a lot, actually.
Why on a movie podcast?
You collect James Bond films.
I've watched a lot of films, and I like enjoying them, but I don't really go out of my way to watch them.
Gotcha.
But if I'm invited, I'll certainly go, and if I see something that's intriguing, I'll go. But the most recent thing I've watched is a Korean TV show. So
A Korean TV show?
yeah.
Now, did they talk about neck on the Korean television program?
No,
they didn't. I'm kind of surprised by that. But what was the Korean show about?
Well, it was on Netflix. It's called, I want to call it The Orb, but I know that's not right. The Abyss.
The Abyss.
Or it's called Abyss or something like that.
Almost like this show, but anyway.
It's very weird.
And what is it about?
It's about... so you have this magic marble, which I believe... I wish I could remember it. It used to be all over kids television for advertisements. It's like the what the hell's the name of it? It's the ball that you move around and it looks like it's staying in place.
I don't know what it's called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't have a clue.
He gets me. I wish I could remember the name. But essentially you've got that thing which can revive dead people.
Cecil, you've been known to handle balls in your day. Do you know what they're referring to? No. All right. Well, those are different kind of balls, I guess. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, so it's a Korean drama about and it circles around this orb,
A ball, or an orb.
that can revive people, and it's not really a murder mystery, because pretty early on who the murderer is and who the bad guys are. So it's more of a thriller type deal where you have these people who are chasing after the serial killer, and then you get this whole reincarnation thing that's thrown in the mix. So it's really interesting. It's also sort of strange the way that, I've only seen 2 Korean drama shows, this one included. So I may be super stereotyping on Korean dramas, but it's weird the way that it doesn't. There's moments in time where it seems so egregiously fake. It's you'll have something that you would expect to see in, say, an anime.
In the way it's presented, or the way it's written.
In the way it's presented.
Okay.
You'll have a situation that's totally real life, but then you'll have this anime-esque version added onto it, and it's somewhat the Korean director watched an American drama, but also watched a Japanese anime.
Is it
and
stylistic
said,
thing?
Fuck it, let's throw it together. It's very strange.
I just looked at my phone, and the new season is coming out soon.
Of what? This movie with the orb?
Of this TV show.
It's getting a second season.
June 25th.
Interesting.
You knew the name of it.
Oh, I searched it. He said it.
Well, yeah, I said the name.
What was the name of it?
Abyss.
You did say The Abyss. That's
Yeah.
right. Not to be confused with our good friend Chris Park.
Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix, and you guys watch Black Mirror?
Oh, I haven't seen... Oh, I stopped at the start of the 3rd season,
Because
unfortunately.
the new season is out, and it's only 3 episodes, which pisses me off.
Well, isn't that what the first 2 were?
Well, it's evolved since the first 2, right? It's they've
How many
become full
seasons are there now?
This is the 5th one.
Shit,
and then
we're
there
already
was
on 5.
and then there was the Bandersnatch movie.
Yeah, I'm way behind. I haven't seen that.
So I was all hyped for Black Mirror. I'm oh yeah, I can't wait to watch it. And then I look at my phone. There's only 3 fucking episodes. I'm I'm gonna be done with this in an afternoon. What the hell?
I thought Netflix,
I want a full season.
I thought Netflix released a whole season at a time.
Yeah, yesterday. It was season
So
5.
the whole
but there's
season was only 3 episodes?
There's only
Yeah.
3 episodes.
Oh, well, budget cuts maybe, or I don't know.
Or maybe it has to do with Bandersnatch, but that doesn't really make sense. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bandersnatch was this.
Are season 3 and 4 good?
I watched it way out of order, so I don't know. I don't really know which episodes belong to which seasons, but
Have you ever seen
I generally
Black
like the
Mirror
show,
series?
so yeah.
Because I really liked the show.
there were more good episodes
in
than
fact,
bad.
I think it was in season 2, the one where it's everyone has a social media score.
That's one of my favorite. Nosedive with Bryce Dallas Howard.
I hated that entire episode because the entire
I just
episode
loved it.
I just wanted to strangle every single person.
Well,
I was
that's kinda-
infuriated by that.
I think
but
that was
then I was
intentional.
fuck, these people are forcing me to feel this way. This
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah. That's episode's called Nosedive. Yeah, it's all about like how fake people are to like gain. It's like it's like the future in which everything is judged by like your out of 5-star rating, and that's how you get like certain jobs and stuff.
Isn't
and
China implementing something like that?
Maybe, but like it's like how other people rate you, so you have to be like super nice and fake to everyone, and everyone has these like scores, and it's kind of like a commentary on social media and stuff. But it's so good because like throughout the episode, all the people are talking in this super fake kind of nice, overly polite way, and it's kind of a commentary on how like fake people are.
It's like rating your Uber driver.
Yeah.
For people that don't know what Black Mirror is, like myself, explain it.
It is a TV show. What's the phrase, like Twilight Zone?
Yeah,
Everyone's
Twilight-esque
different.
TV. Not Twilight.
There's a phrase.
Twilight Zone TV-esque.
No, what's like the phrase where like every episode's different? There's like a
Oh, I don't know the phrase.
anthology. It's an anthology show.
Okay.
So every episode's a different story.
Every episode is a different, not
And-
every season.
Yeah, and
Every episode.
it all is thematically about future technology and its implications on like the world and stuff. Some have more to do with the technology than others, but it's all like in a vague futuristic setting in which like some new creepy kind of technology is a part of the world. And it's really interesting. There are some duds, but I think the majority of episodes are really good and really well written and directed and stuff.
Do you think years from now people will refer to Black Mirror as a treasured classic?
I think it already has a pretty big fan
Yeah,
base,
I mean,
so I wouldn't be surprised.
The first reaction to the first season, everyone loved it. Like,
Well, that was before Netflix bought it. It was originally a show on the BBC for the first 2 seasons, and then
oh, really?
And then 3 onward, Netflix
I didn't
bought
know
it,
that.
and it was American. Yeah,
It's a British show
originally, yes,
with a British people on it.
correct.
Yes, they were.
Most episodes
Yeah.
have very thick.
yeah, see, I learned
British
something
accents.
every day.
It may lose my interest.
No, really.
When I hear that British
on
accent, it usually
subtitles.
says to me, I really don't need the subtitles. I can understand it. I don't know what it is. It's like when I
noisy.
turn on a movie and I see a setting from like 1600. I'm ready to go. British people, subtitles, unless it's got a story that's really interesting me.
Well, just turn off your speaker system.
So I should just watch the movements.
yeah,
And
yeah.
try and guess what
Turn
the story
subtitles
is.
on. Turn off the audio. You
An
don't
interactive
need
experience.
ambience.
I guess I could be very creative and create the plot in my head, and I could have Kyle do the background music on his drums.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could make your own Foley.
All right.
And that Bandersnatch thing I was talking about, it's a movie released in between seasons 4 and 5 that is a choose your own adventure on Netflix. So you there's choices throughout the movie, and you choose with your remote, and it decides where it goes. And the story itself actually has to do with the concept of choosing your path. Like the characters become self-aware that someone is controlling their choices, and it's like super meta and like self-referential. And there's like you can tell like I'm not gonna spoil it, I guess,
No,
but there's
please, no.
there's
Not
some,
down here on neck.
there's
We
some
don't do
really interesting like clever things they do with the concept. It's not like they really took full advantage of everything you can do with like that type of concept, and it's a lot of fun.
that. I respect your unique recommendations. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put this Black Mirror?
The entirety of the show, I would say it's a good like 7 or 8 out of 10.
Really?
Like there's a lot of really good in it. Even in like the episodes that aren't great, like there's really great concepts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of episodes are like actually really great. There's a Christmas special with John Hamm. That's like probably the most popular episode, and I think it's also probably the best. It's like a lot of them, some of them like span the length of almost like full movies. Like they're usually around 45 minutes to an hour, but like there's some that are like an hour and a half, and it's like just a movie.
It's almost like one of these podcasts.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to ask you, since you're familiar with the show, where would you give it on a 1 to 10?
Well, like I said, I sort of stopped like after the first episode in
So
season
not that
3.
good.
Well, I sort of lost interest in standard TV shows at the time, and I just haven't gotten back to it.
I wouldn't say it's a standard TV
Well,
show.
I mean,
Wait a minute.
let me rephrase.
Okay.
I went through a rebirthing in my anime phase.
Gotcha.
So anyway, from what I saw of the first 2 seasons, I would rate it 7 or 8 as well.
It was
I really
that
enjoyed
good,
it.
but yet you stopped watching it.
Well, like
That's
I said,
really
I sort
good. I'm
of
never going to watch this again.
Well, I'll probably come back to it, especially with
All
the
right.
Bandersnatch movie.
Well, what I'd like to know is how did we wind up talking about these TV shows on a movie madness
Well,
program?
perhaps we should expand the title.
Maybe that is the madness behind movie madness. What do I know?
We're all insane here.
Not to be confused with madness
but
behind the
perhaps-
mania.
perhaps
So
to
insane we
relate
can't
this.
even stay on the same subject. That's how insane we are.
Have any of you seen? Well, I know Dan, you haven't because we talked about this before, not on the podcast. But Kyle, have you seen Ex Machina?
I have.
What do you think of that?
I saw it a while ago, so my memory is kind of vague, but I remember liking it. I know it's on Netflix now, so I've been meaning to rewatch it, but I remember liking it. It was like kind of a very, what's the word? Not in a bad way, but like kind of an overdone concept, but like with a new twist on it. Like the whole like AI, like are they real, are they not? And there's a lot of cool stuff in it. Yeah, I don't remember that much of it, but I remember liking it.
Is this
Yeah,
a movie or a
It's
television
a
show?
movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
With Oscar Isaac and Donald Gleason and Alicia Vikander.
Well, I'm glad someone knows actors because I sure as hell don't.
Directed by, what's his name?
Reno Chastain.
Oh, I know his name. I forget his name. I lied. But he also he directed a new movie called Annihilation, and he also secretly directed the movie Dread.
Secretly.
He ghost directed it. There's a funny story behind that. So, the guy, whoever was originally advertised as directing it, he just didn't. Turns out that so Dread stars Carl Urban, the new 2012 one, which I think is pretty good. But like about a year and a half ago, Carl Urban like came out in an interview and he was like, "Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, and I'm only saying this now because of like contractual obligations are over. Like it's been long enough, but like." Alex Garland is the guy, isn't that? He goes, Alex Garland actually directed that movie, and so didn't actually direct it. And the interviewer was like, what? And like, because he's thinking like, oh my god, this huge story. I'm about to get this huge story. He's like, yep, Alex Garland secretly directed that movie, and it wasn't the guy that everyone thought it was. So, boom.
Interesting.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprise.
Dread is a very different movie from Ex Machina, but same
Yes,
dude.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, we have to run through Cecil's, our executive producer's list of what we've seen in theaters recently. Unlike you two fine gentlemen, I saw Godzilla in 4D at the Revere Theater, a very memorable evening for me, probably less for the movie than the altercation upon entering the movie theater, the story that you've heard before. when-
Yes.
What did you think of the movie?
The movie itself, like I said, not as memorable as what went on when I entered.
Yeah.
I would say I probably would have liked it a lot more if it was about an hour and a half, as
Did you
opposed to
see the
2.5
first one?
hours.
Did you see the first one?
I liked that one a lot.
Me too.
Now I'm a little confused on the
wait a
whole
minute.
into like the universe behind this, right?
Yeah.
Because
There's a
Mothra
Godzilla
is part
universe.
of the Godzilla universe, right?
Yeah, and he's
So-
pretty sure he's in the new one, right?
Yeah.
Who?
So
Mothra. Big
Who's
moth.
Mothra?
The big moth.
Which one was he?
I'm assuming the one with the big wings.
see, Dan doesn't even remember it.
That goes to show
I
you.
don't know his name.
Okay.
There were a lot of monsters in it,
So,
though. I'll say that in this universe.
Yes. So it's part of the
Cecil,
the
was he in
kaiju,
it?
right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yes,
the new,
then
the
he
new
was.
Kong movie is part
yeah,
of it.
exactly. So is this in universe with the Kong movie?
Yeah.
And is
At
is
the end
there
of
any
at the end of
relation?
Kong, there's a little end credit scene where Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson they're in like an interrogation room talking like the FBI.
Yeah,
And they're,
I
like-
remember that.
And they
scene,
show
yeah.
Godzilla, so like that's people are like speculating, but that is official. That it's all.
Yeah, but
same
is there any tie-ins? Is it big in any way in the movie, or is it just
They're
sort
gonna
of
fight
like-
each other eventually.
Eventually, okay.
But it's directed by what's his fucking name? This hack who directed a lot of shitty movies. What's his name? I forget his name,
That
but
guy.
he directed the Death Note live action movie.
Oh God, don't mention that.
Yeah, and he also directed the new Blair Witch.
I didn't
and-
find that one that bad.
But what's his name? though?
Fair. Fair enough.
I'm looking it up. But yeah, he's directing that. so
You'll
I'm
never
not
become
excited.
educated that way.
Well, you had that conversation yesterday, if I recall. But that's a different
Adam
story
Wingard, that's
for
his
a
name.
different time.
Adam Wingard.
We love old Adam.
He's a hack. He also, when there's something funny about the Death Note movie, when people were shitting on it, he came out on Twitter and had this like meltdown. He's like, everyone who doesn't like it is just a troll. And he was like doing like, man, all these people who don't like that movie, they're just a bunch of trolls.
I mean,
and they don't have actually anything to say. It's like, holy shit, how?
There was a two-prong attack on the Death Note movie, right? There was one that was saying it's a whitewashing of the original story, and then there was one saying it's just shit. It's a just shit.
I think it's
retelling.
both.
The whitewashing, you know, like I didn't watch the whole thing because I had to stop.
Yeah.
I
didn't even try. I watched the trailer. I'm like, no way. I watched the trailer, and that's what made me actually watch the original show. Because I'm like, oh, it's an interesting concept. I want to see the good version of this.
I haven't even seen the original show fully.
Really?
As I think I stopped as soon as Light
Thing.
was jailed. I couldn't continue after he got put in jail for the first time.
I don't remember when on the show that is,
Or whatever. But anyway, the whitewashing didn't bother me as much because
I mean,
it was taking a place in America, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like the setting changed, so it didn't bother me as much as it would have if they were, say, supposed to be in Tokyo or in some Japanese city, and you've got this white kid speaking English running around.
Nat Wolf. That's the kid's name. Used to be in Naked Brothers band. Anyways, go on.
But yeah, so it didn't bother me as much. I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was more true to the story of the plot.
Yeah.
And with Japanese actors and whatnot, but it was shit, so.
Yeah. I very much got that vibe from the trailer and from every reaction of the movie. So.
Did you guys know that so much of the Godzilla movie was supposed to take place in Boston? As that was kind of a big surprise to me.
Did a bunch of Boston buildings get
Absolutely.
destroyed? Oh, really?
Absolutely. MMTV was not one of them, though.
Oh,
okay.
A little surprised by that. The Godzilla didn't make his way.
He didn't make a surprise
about 8
appearance?
miles
Did you like
north.
knock
No.
over the Prudential or something?
That was one of them, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We don't want to spoil it, though, for all the Bostonians.
Oh no! Cities get destroyed in the new Godzilla movie.
Oh, can you
wow.
believe
Big
it?
surprise, right?
Citywide devastation
Wow.
in a kaiju movie.
Why do you
Who would have
think?
thunk?
Why do you think that this movie was 2.5 hours long? Too long.
Jesus.
It's
think
not
the-
like it had
I
a
think-
great story to tell.
Because the people who like the movie will defend it and say that
No.
the longer the better.
You know what I think it was? I think the VFX artists were just really enjoying all of their time on the project, and
Are
they
you
just
sure?
couldn't stop.
You mean the underpaid VFX artists that get overtime and no extra money for that?
Well, you know, I didn't know that part of the story, so.
Well, that's like every big VFX shop nowadays. They get overtime and they don't get paid and they get rushed. So like, it's when you see shitty CGI in movies, it's usually not the actual VFX artist's fault, but like it's the fault of the producers and stuff who give them really small time constraints to pull off really huge special effects. So they're like rushing it all out. So that's if they give them time, it usually looks good. But then when they rush them and don't pay them, it usually looks bad.
Well, I will say this: as far as the effects go and the visuals, it was really cool. But I think the coolness wore off about 90 minutes in, as opposed to $1.50. You know what
As
I mean?
opposed to the first one where they save all the cool shit to the end. And that's
Yes,
that's
yes,
why it actually
yes.
matters. Yeah.
Wait, which one are you calling the first one?
2014, the original American one.
Was that the one where at one point they're in a stadium or something? Or am I... No, I'm thinking of
maybe?
the right... I'm thinking of...
Maybe. With Bryan Cranston.
I don't know actors.
Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
He doesn't know actors.
Elizabeth
he just
Olsen.
kind of remembers storylines.
No, the actors I know? Harrison Ford.
Nice.
That's it.
That's all I need. That's all
Well,
you
you
need.
have a wide collection of James Bond films at home.
Oh,
You
well, I
don't know-
get Pierce Brosnan,
Yeah.
Daniel Craig,
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. That's about it.
Nice.
All right. Well, I heard on the phone earlier that you are not a fan in general of podcasts. Why is that? I have to put you on the spot now, since you are on a podcast that's filmed.
Well, the one thing that I can see being useful with podcasts
No
is...
pun intended.
Was there a pun there?
You're supposed to listen to them. You said you
Well, we have
can't
cameras
see.
here, so
Yeah.
that kind of...
That's what I mean. This is a Cecil the Lion production.
Anyway, so I've generally only listened to podcasts while I'm like doing something else and I'm not really paying attention. Because frankly, listening to other people, like just straight up listening to other people, bores the hell out of me.
Really?
Like if there's no visual to go along with it, or if I'm not part of the conversation, it's really dry. And like I'll enjoy some like like little clips from podcasts where an interesting question is posed or someone's talking about something that I'm interested in. But watching an hour of 3 people sitting around a table talking about stuff and me not being able to partake in it with no interesting visuals just sort of bores the hell out of me.
I think you just haven't found the right podcast, because I used to think that exact same thing, but now I love certain podcasts.
What are your podcasts of choice?
I watch Sardonicast, which is a movie podcast. Who would have guessed? It involves like some YouTubers that I like quite a lot, and I value like what they say, and they're really entertaining and funny. So like I like hearing what they have to say.
Will they be watching you on Neck, do you think?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But
probably.
like I look forward to it because I like hearing what they have to say, and they're funny, and I like so it's like it's topics that I'm interested in too. Like usually movies that I've seen or know about. So it's like that, and then I used to watch other ones, but I'll watch like Joe Rogan sometimes, not all the time. It depends on the guest, but I watch. I used to watch a lot more, but right now it's like Sardonicast is like my favorite. So like if you find the right podcast, like you'll know.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot since podcasts are so popular now and more people are doing it, there's more room for people who just aren't interesting and just do shit podcasts. But like if you dig deep enough, I think you'll find.
Yeah.
You haven't dug enough, Steve.
I've tried recently because I guess you would call them a studio, a small independent studio in California called Corridor. Corridor Digital.
Not that small. They have like 1 million or so subscribers, right?
Well, yeah, but like I meant like there's 7 or 8 guys.
Oh, like the fifth. Okay.
The actual studio is small.
Have you seen like them reacting to the VFX?
Yes, I have seen
Those are so
good. It's really cool, and
Yeah.
I think
Very
all the
interesting.
guys there are really cool. But they started a podcast recently.
One of the guys there, he used to be in a bunch of old Freddie W videos.
Oh, they were all used to be friends with Freddie W.
Yeah. So I'm confused, like which ones were originally with him and which ones were always with Corridor.
So
I'm confused.
so Sam and Nico.
Yeah,
You know which ones those are.
I think so.
Nico is the guy, curly blonde hair.
Yeah,
And then Sam he usually has a big bushy beard. He's a bit chubbier.
yeah.
So those two are from Montana or something like that. And they moved out to California to film videos. And I think they met Freddie W. somewhere along the way. And they were never part of Freddie W. officially, but
They
they
just
would
helped
do
out.
VFX for
Yeah,
him
that
and
makes
stuff like
sense.
that. So yeah.
Freddie W., now known as Rocket Jump Productions.
Yeah, it's a shame that they don't do more videos anymore.
Well, like
I know that they're working-
the market has kind of died for it. Like,
Well,
it was a time and place where like those type of videos were super popular, but now it's like that type
Yeah.
of content is less in demand.
It's not like they left a void in my heart, but it's.
That kind of did for me.
I sort of
liked.
miss them.
Did you ever watch Video Game High School?
Oh yes,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah. That was a great show, and they've moved on to larger productions.
Yeah. There's that. They do like this Twilight Zone kind of show.
Yeah, Dimension 404.
Yeah. I haven't watched that, but I know of it.
Yeah, I haven't watched that either.
Where is it? Like, where can I watch it?
I don't know, Hulu maybe. I
Oh,
think.
yeah. I'm not getting Hulu, so. Oh well.
Well, unbelievable. So far in this movie program, we've discussed one movie,
Uh-huh.
2 or 3 TV shows, some podcasts,
Some YouTube content.
YouTube
Yeah,
content.
perhaps
we've
we should
strategically
change.
Dodged everything,
Yeah, everything
in the
that's
media
not a movie.
circle besides movies.
Perhaps we should change this to like Video Madness or something.
Now, did you ever listen to the podcast, The Vision Quest?
No.
No. Never did you ever hear of it?
Vision Quest?
Vision
Maybe.
Quest, yeah.
Kind of sort of
Really
rings a
big
bell.
last year.
No.
No. Are
It's
you
just like-
sure?
I'm sure.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Is
maybe
leading
next
somewhere?
year. What's that?
It's just like leading somewhere.
Of course.
Okay.
Does anything I ever say not lead somewhere?
Fair enough.
All right. I'm continuing to get on the list. You've given some great recommendations here. What do you think the state of the industry is right now? We're talking big time talk.
Just the
The
movies in
state of
general.
the movie. I'm going to guess the state of the movie industry.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, the VFX artists are probably screwed over more than anyone else. They're paid way less than they should be. There's a great half-hour YouTube documentary called Life After Pi, and it's about the VFX studio that did the effects for Life of Pi and how they went bankrupt, and how
Oh, I never heard of that.
they went bankrupt and then won an Oscar after. So, which is so ironic. So they're on stage. There's this the documentary leads to this whole kind of confrontation, but it talks about like why the very specifics of why VFX artists are screwed over so badly, and like how it all works and like who's screwing over who essentially. But like the narrative is like how I forget the name of them, which is kind of sad, but they went out of business and then they won the Oscar, and then as they were on stage, one of the artists was going to make this kind of point to the audience like, hey, like just so you know, thank you for this award, but we're going bankrupt and blah blah blah. And as he's saying it, they cut the lights on him and they cut his speech and the music comes up and it's like, and then it made everyone like furious, and it started this whole like this online movement thing. Like everyone made their profile pictures like green screens, which is kind of making a point of like, this is what your movie looks like without us, essentially. And there was this whole, it didn't really do much, but like it was a valiant effort. It's like a half-hour documentary. I would recommend watching it for into movies.
You have a lot of respect for him. Is that what you're trying to say?
Him?
Yeah. Was it a woman?
No, it was a guy. I mean, just the people who made that documentary in general, because like it's a topic that's no one's really talking about, and it's kind of big, and it's still going on. VFX artists are still screwed over quite a lot.
Certainly not talked about. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Life After Pi. Recommend.
How do you think the state of the movie theaters is right now? You have this movement more towards, as opposed to going to the theater every once in a blue moon, all these subscription services that are starting to pop up.
I can't stand people in movie theaters, so I mean,
yeah.
But I do like the movie quality screens and speakers. If my ideal fantasy world of seeing movies would be me alone in a movie theater, but obviously
the whole theater.
Yes, but obviously that's not going to happen. So, I mean, I honestly don't mind. I have a pretty good setup at home. I have like huge ass movie theater speakers and a nice big TV. So I mean, if somewhere down the line, you know, theaters are extinct and I'm only watching stuff at home, I wouldn't really mind that much.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should have private viewings in your house.
Invite us over, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I enjoy when I go to the movie theaters, except when there's annoying people in there.
Which is every time for me. At least
it's almost
maybe
every
I
time
just
for
get
me.
annoyed easier than some people, but for me, there's always some fucking asshole just doing some.
Well,
dumb,
yeah, like that's the
stupid
thing,
shit.
right? Because
It
like
pisses me
Usually
off.
the ones that
if
don't
I'm
even have
eating,
a ticket, they sneak into the theater after seeing something else, and they want to get a freebie.
Well,
out
that
of the deal.
usually doesn't happen at AMC because it's a reserved seating,
Yeah.
but still.
They can still get in, though.
It's always-
They look on the telephone to see what seats are open.
It's always some guy in the front on his phone, and I see him in my peripheral, or it's always some people talking
or a
behind me.
child screaming.
Honestly, I don't get the child that much, but it's like, or people clapping or laughing in scenes that aren't supposed to be funny, or just talking. I've told many people to shut up. some of which has worked, some of which hasn't.
So you're one of those people.
Oh yeah, I will be the one to tell you to shut up.
Have you tried late night?
What do you mean? Like just seeing
Like
movies super
11,
late?
12 o'clock movie.
Depends on the movie. Like usually
Some aren't worth it.
in certain movies like Avengers Endgame, or where if you don't see it opening night, you're gonna get spoiled. You kind of have to just face the
Oh,
brunt,
I gotcha.
face
I
the
gotcha.
brunt of the obnoxious Marvel man babies in the audience, and then just try to see it and try to focus as hard as you can on the screen and not worry about the people clapping when they see their favorite characters. But I mean, my Avengers Endgame screening actually wasn't that bad. But yeah, it's usually like Marvel movies, Star Wars movies with big fan bases that are the most obnoxious.
So kind of like if you had a public screening of Neck.
I guess
Probably
so, yeah.
the responses you'd be hearing from people.
Probably
in the
screaming
crowd.
fans, you know.
Oh yeah, all the clapping over our controversial opinions.
You know what I found, not to get away from this, but people applauded like wild at the end of Godzilla.
Ugh.
Really?
I was really, really, really surprised.
You-
Unless they were like me, I was ready to applaud that it was over. But
You'd be surprised at what people clap at.
I mean,
what's that
well,
supposed to mean?
I don't know,
Your
people,
drums?
People, aha. Well, people eat up a lot of shit
yeah,
in general.
that's true.
People,
I
I
people.
mean,
women.
all of the official reviews for Godzilla were terrible. I mean, that's
Really?
yeah, that's been a big meme lately.
Oh, really?
Is
I didn't
all
see
of the
that.
all of the Godzilla reviews by actual professional reviewers is it's like got a 22 on Rotten Tomatoes,
Really?
but all of the fan reviews are really high.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. People are also shitting on the new X-Men, which is kind of funny.
I'll have to say, when Cecil the Lion and I were leaving the theater after he hurled his insult earlier in the night, I said, you know what? Because we saw it in 4D, I'd give it a 6.
got
But other
40,
than that,
really
I'd give it
close.
about a 5. What was it?
It's got a 40%, but Rotten Tomatoes is
So
not
I'm just a
reliable.
nudge above that.
Yeah, if you actually know how Rotten Tomatoes work, then I don't think anyone would take them seriously.
Well, how does it work then?
It works it's a percentage of fresh to rotten reviews, and the way that Rotten Tomatoes decides that is that a 6 out of 10 or a 3 out of 5 stars is fresh, and anything below there is rotten. So a movie can get.
Oh, is that how it works? Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So a movie can get 6 out of 10 by every single reviewer, and it'll have 100% in Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Interesting.
or it'll
I
have
didn't know that. I would
it'll
never
have
really
a
used the
5
site.
out of 10 by everyone, and it'll be a 0%. So everyone can think the movie is average and it'll have 100%, or everyone can think the movie is just decent and it'll have 100. It makes zero sense, and it's not
that's very
accurate
strange.
at all. And people like take it seriously. It's like, oh yeah, I wonder what the Rotten Tomatoes score is going to be. I wonder what people think. But it's like it's not an accurate representation of what people actually think.
It's almost like the equivalent of trending on Twitter, I guess, which has almost no value to anything known to mankind. But
Yeah.
when someone trends on Twitter, they sure want to get the word out that
Yeah.
they're trending.
Yeah, just people don't know how it works, which is kind of frustrating.
Well, it's a good thing we have you here on net.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As we have the
Educating us.
New England
of course.
Clam Chatter about what goes on here in the world
Yeah.
of Rotten Tomatoes. Do you use the website, Steve?
No, not really.
No.
In fact, I don't.
You're on to their
I don't
con.
usually look up reviews of stuff.
You just want to be surprised.
Yeah, I usually don't really care about what other people are saying most
my
of the time.
media literacy teacher loved Roger Ebert, and we would read some of his reviews of stuff. But that was only after we had watched the films.
You wanted to see what the experts had to say after you already made your own
Well,
opinion.
It wasn't. I to be honest, I never read the reviews.
But what other movies are there this summer? I know you came up with quite a list. I want to see it. I saw the trailer again for it. I look forward.
Is
Did
there
you
a new
guys
trailer out?
I didn't see the first one, so
You didn't see the first one?
really?
Well, you got several months.
I know.
I really
I've
enjoyed
kind of
the
seen
first
like
one.
all like the big scenes though.
It
Like, I've seen
wasn't
most
as
of it.
scary
Big
as I wanted it
scenes.
to.
The first one?
Yeah, the first I enjoyed the first one,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as scary as I wanted it to be.
I didn't mind that one being long
Mm.
because I thought it had an interesting.
Well, yeah, it had a
story
good
with
story. Yeah.
Someone in this room right now who will not be named actually spoiled the first It to me. I remember it was a two-part.
What's there to spoil?
I didn't know how it ended. When the first one was out, I don't know if you're familiar with this, it wasn't in the movie theater. It was a two-part TV movie on ABC.
Yeah, with
Well, I only saw the first night.
Oh really?
I had no.
You didn't know there was.
I didn't
they were
see
coming
the
back
adults.
as adults.
I know they came back as adults, but I have no idea what happened. And then
Yeah.
the raging beast roared at me one afternoon here, and I guess I really don't need to go back and watch that one.
Tim Curry was the original Pennywise.
I like the Pennywise they have now.
Yeah,
He does well with it.
something Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgårds.
One of those guys.
There's like 5 of them.
Yeah, they're like Kardashians. They're all over
Yeah.
the place. He's really giving it some deep thought. But any other summer blockbusters, as Cecil likes to call them, international blockbusters, if you will.
There's a new Spider-Man, right?
You know, that one, I like Spider-Man. He's one of the few
see.
superheroes I can enjoy in just about any incarnation.
I don't really like his new suit design.
Oh, he has a new suit.
Which one? There's like 5.
Well, that's part of the problem. I don't. He seems like Iron Man now with all his suits.
He's always been Iron Man in the new version.
Yeah, in the new version. I'm not a big fan.
Oh, okay.
I
Just
don't
in
like his
general?
suits in the new
Oh,
version
okay.
now.
Now, is the new Child's Play that's coming out, is it an actual doll or is it CGI?
It's CGI, I think, but
Oh,
Mark
really?
Hamill is voicing Chucky in that.
Really?
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
Interesting.
Would Child's Play be on
Where-
your list?
where-
You know,
When he-
there's still before this one. There's still Child's Play movies that still take place in the same continuity as like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They've still been making them like direct to DVD movies, and I guess they were gonna make another one. You know, continuing it because they have this like cult fan base. But then they wanted to make a blockbuster one, so they're like, no, we need to cast new voice guy Mark Hamill, someone that everyone likes, so we can reboot
So
it.
this is a reboot?
Yeah,
Okay.
but there has been like recent Child's Play movies that have just been continuing since the original, like straight to DVD movies until this one.
Will Child's Play be reviewed on NEC?
I don't plan
Maybe.
on seeing it.
I don't plan on seeing it either. They never really interested me.
No. What about Annabelle 2?
You mean
3?
three?
That
No,
I
close
I
enough.
would be willing to
Sometimes
see
you
the
just
Annabelle
have to keep
movies.
counting.
I would not.
Have you seen any of them?
No,
I didn't think they were that bad.
really.
Yeah. First
I
one,
stayed away.
a little Second one I liked, but, you know, all of our opinions are different. We do have to come up with some consensus on what movies to review.
Yes, that's true.
Maybe
That's true.
should we have the executive producer order us to see certain films?
I think that's
Preferably
a good idea.
ones not in theaters, so I don't have to pay for them.
Listen, us.
Ones
Look
that,
at this cheapskate.
ones that are already out. You know.
Well, maybe the production staff here could cover our costs to have a movie pass.
I want to
or
see
a,
Midsummer, but that's not until July 3rd.
Oh, when's that come out?
July 3rd.
I want to see
But
that
I'm gonna wait.
So you know what? That one's a definite for Nick.
But the
he
thing
wants
is-
to wait to see
Producer,
it at home
write
in
that
August.
down.
No. I want to see. I want to wait to see it a little after in the theaters, so I don't have those obnoxious people in the audience.
What
You
if
wanna
we
wait for
rent
the
out an
opening night.
entire movie theater?
Then I'd be down.
Now, see, don't you know if you try and book a seat through the phone or the computer or whatnot, they'll generally show you what seats are available, so
Yeah.
you'll have some idea how busy the theater is going to be.
But not if you order like a few days before, because then the seats will pack up like as you.
Well, I
as
think
you
that's
as
how.
it gets closer to
Yeah.
the release date.
I think the master seat sneakers, that's what they do. They sit in the hall or in the bathroom, and they look at what movie has minimal seats, and then they sneak in and they know it's available.
Ah, I see. I'd never
Not
thought
that
of
I would ever do anything like
There's-
that. I'm too slow to sneak into a movie.
The new Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's July 26th.
What
That's
about
a comedy,
June?
right?
It's kind of early June now. I think Cecil the Lion was hoping we'd have 3 or 4 of these episodes a week.
When does Spider-Man come
I
out?
think we did the exact same thing last time. It was up to Kyle's trusty
Yeah, we
phone.
did. He's
Yeah.
looking at his IMDb.
Yeah.
Well, why do you need an executive producer when you have a host to look up these movies on the air, right?
Well, there's more movies than this, but this is like what they're listing is like.
what
the-
about June? Do they have anything for June? No.
anything that
slow month?
nothing that I'm interested in?
Well,
but
throw a
they-
few out there. Maybe if 2 out of the 3 of us say we should do it, the other one can be forced into it, almost like this podcast.
Dark Phoenix, Secret Life of Pets 2, Abduction, Changeland, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, Men in Black International, The Dead Don't Die, Shaft, Late Night,
I wanna see
American
The
Woman,
Dead Don't Die.
Toy Story 4, Child's Play, Anna, The Command, and Wild Rose.
Could you have gone through those any quicker, Kyle the Independent?
Annabelle Comes Home, Yesterday, and Ophelia. Now I'm done.
Wait. What's the Ophelia one about? Is
That's
that
Daisy
is that-
Ridley? A reimagining of Hamlet told from Ophelia's
God.
perspective,
Like
Yeah,
I said,
not
anything
watching
with
that
that
one.
British voice.
with Naomi Watts, Clive Owen, too. Directed by
Not a big fan
directed
of
by Claire McCarthy. I have no idea who that is.
Shakespeare adaptations.
Sounds like a movie that no one's really going to care about, but will probably get some decent reviews on.
You know what?
those,
Some English teacher somewhere is gonna love it.
Yeah.
It's got a 65 Metascore as of right now, even though it's not out. Daisy Ridley as a ginger, I see. With like super long hair. That's kind of weird.
Interesting.
Maybe Cecil the Lion
You
can
said it was a
insert
reimagining of
photos
Hamlet?
these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll put a lot of
Interesting.
editing.
See, I don't really know the story of Hamlet, so I don't really know who Ophelia is.
I believe she was Hamlet's fiance, or yeah, I don't think they had
Hamlet's a
married
character,
yet.
and Hamlet's not just the title. I literally know nothing about Hamlet, so that's
You didn't miss much.
It's got
Yeah.
some murder,
yep.
some ghosts.
So Shakespeare.
That's about all I remember.
Told in a very boring way, though.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, very boring way.
That's
I never
for sure.
understood
Though-
why someone was supposed to enjoy it.
Shakespeare
I can
was
see
never
why, but I
meant
just
to be
don't
read.
enjoy it myself.
Shakespeare was meant to be watched as a play, and let me tell you,
Hot take.
it would sure as hell be a lot better watching it as a play,
Not in a book
not in a book
or a movie.
or a movie.
Would it be referred to maybe as a treasured classic?
It might be
Better,
better, in a
better
movie.
as a movie than reading
Yeah.
it.
But I feel like there's a certain elegance to a
Yeah.
play that's necessary.
It's elegant. It's an elegant experience.
Well, because
If
Shakespeare's
people who know what they're doing and know that what they're reading and understand it, and they're
Yeah,
delivering it in the way that was intended, then yeah, not like
the
not
language
high school
that's
kids
used,
reading it. You know,
don't care.
the language that Shakespeare uses, there's a lot of movie adaptations that just sort of throw it out the window. Like I think
Get out of here.
I think there was a Macbeth one that was made
Throw it out the window.
that was like modern military or something like that, and
with Michael Fassbender.
using maybe
that one was like 2015, I think.
yeah, that sounds right. But like using Shakespeare's language in that sort of environment just doesn't feel right, and I don't know if they rewrote it. I don't know if they used it, but if they did use Shakespeare's words, it would certainly feel very strange. And if they didn't, then is it really Shakespeare anymore?
There was a Romeo and Juliet with Leo DiCaprio where
I
it,
remember
it,
that.
it
I watched
took
that
place
one.
in modern day, but they
In
talked
Los Angeles, right?
But they talked in the old school Shakespeare.
That was That was a drug trip, that's for sure.
Do you think that Cecil the Lion has an eloquent enough voice to read a little Shakespeare? I think that would be
I see
kind of
it, I
interesting.
see it.
I think he would make a good Romeo.
Yeah, I was about to say, great Romeo.
He's very proud of his hair, and as he claims, one of our good friends, a restaurateur here on Main Street in Melrose, looks at him like he's lion meat.
Romeo, let down your hair.
Well, he lets it down. So we really don't have much focus for the rest of the month here on Neck. We're going to have to surprise people.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to throw out some Netflix at them, maybe a little podcast
Sure.
talk.
I still have to watch Burning or whatever.
What was Burning?
It was the Korean TV movie.
Did we talk about that on this episode or one of those
No,
other
the previous
pilots?
ones.
Last one.
Other pilots.
The
okay.
other pilot.
Well, unbelievable. Hopefully we'll hit up at least maybe
Maybe one.
one movie, 2 movies, 3 movies, 4, who knows? Like I said, our goal is to try and have the production staff here at NEC take care of those, maybe some subscription passes for the summer so we can see all the movies that are fair to air
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
that's
right
true.
price, baby.
Like share
Apps.
a subscription or something.
So, well, you have to swap phones, I think, to do that.
Oh yeah,
And people would
it only
rather do
accounts
that
for
less
one
than,
person.
you know,
Yeah.
swapping condoms. It's not exactly encouraged in the world of Hollywood or the world of real life.
There's one lesson to take
One
away
might say it's
from this episode.
discouraged.
It is. It is very discouraged. That's a great way to put it. I'm not quite sure how long we've gone. We've certainly danced around multiple different genres of movies and things that have nothing
This
to do
is
with
more
Hollywood.
than just movie madness.
I would like to see you perform the title song to Neck on your drums.
What's the title song?
I have absolutely no idea, but I bet it would be good. If, a big if, you could resist from those 1 a.m. drum playing sessions that
that don't exist.
never mind the people in your own home that you wake up, but neighbors across the street that somehow hear it.
I think the actual latest I've played drums is like 10.
Well, maybe he's in a different time zone.
Yeah.
Maybe he was flying from Europe or something. And
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah, still jet lagged.
all right, well, you should hear about what the people do in his backyard. Have you ever heard about that?
I've not.
The mystery people that shoot lights into his windows at night. Almost sounds like it could be a
Sounds
horror
like
movie.
aliens.
Yeah, Cecil has, well, we won't talk about that. I don't want, he's a little sensitive about that. Almost like as much as when we talk about his gluten problems. Again, that's, he demanded that the Spaniard at the Revere Cinema not put any butter on his popcorn. He told her he wanted it natural. It's a preference.
May I ask why Cecil is not a part of the podcast this episode?
Well, those
He
badass
doesn't like
sunglasses
the way he
made
looks on camera.
the badass
Okay.
sunglasses made the 3 of us look lousy. So he's doing it for us
Yeah.
more than
yeah.
anything.
He's so
Yeah,
considerate.
he really brought our quality down.
He sure did. He sure did. But again, maybe we'll have him here for the big blockbuster episodes when we talk about those old treasured classics we love here on Neck. Absolutely so much. I don't think there's anything more we could add to this.
Let's pick to have some focus. Let's pick some random treasured classic that we've all seen.
Psycho.
For the
Not
next
seen
episode
Psycho.
or this
Shit.
one?
What?
I know. I'm sorry. For this one, just
this one.
to top it off.
Well, you pick. You have got a wider variety
I don't
than
know.
I do.
If you guys seen 2001,
No.
let's see. I'm gonna go through.
Well, he's looking for treasured classics. Hopefully on the next episode, maybe to mix it up a little bit, to just throw some random thought in there so we don't have dead air.
What are some?
Maybe a movie in the theaters, a Netflix-type movie, maybe a true classic.
Have you guys seen Whiplash?
No.
No, I've
Jesus
never
I've had
heard of
Whiplash,
that.
though, and I got blown up by the drunk driver, but I don't think that's what you
Have you
meant.
guys seen Nightcrawler?
No, but I've heard of
Oh,
it.
is that,
I really want
what's
to
the
see
actor's
it,
name?
actually.
Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Was that the television camera guy that was going around selling footage? I like that one a lot.
I really
That's
want to
one of
see
my
that one.
favorite movies.
Well, you
ever.
have Netflix. What the hell are you waiting for?
Is it on
Watching your little
Netflix?
Korean movies that nobody cares about.
I've seen that movie like 15 times. No
You liked
joke.
it that much?
I fucking love that movie.
Now, did you
so
get
much.
inspired once you walked into the doors of the studio the first time thinking about that?
Were you
Well-
about to go out filming dead bodies?
Well, Jake Gyllenhaal character is kind of like a sociopath, so I would say no.
No, you're not a sociopath.
His performance alone like sells that movie. He's like
Yeah, well.
perfect. He plays this like emotionless like husk of a person who's like mimicking real human emotion, but he really has none. He's like this like It's hard to explain, but like it's like the perfect like sociopath, and it's so good.
I could see Cecil doing that. Maybe that'll be the future of the New England Clam Chatter family of podcasts. There's not enough to talk about, so he'll create
Pulp Fiction.
those. I vaguely remember.
Unfortunately, I
it.
have not seen that.
I vaguely
Okay, you
remember.
can't get mad at me for not seeing Psycho. Then.
That's true. That's true.
It's evened out
I can't
now.
be angry with you.
Oh my god.
You got to think treasured now, not just a classic.
Treasure Island. I actually haven't seen that.
No idea. I know there's a Chinese restaurant.
The Truman Show.
Never seen it.
Oh, Groundhog's Day.
I haven't seen it. There has to be one, at least one. Now all three of
I
us.
tell
have
you,
seen
our executive producer really
Jesus
getting his notes in order for
Christ.
this. He wrote me a script that I don't think any human being on the planet would actually speak, but we had no focus for anything to talk about, other than rate the movies, but try not to spoil them, even if they're old.
Let's see.
Close the episode by talk about which movies you're looking
Monty
forward to seeing.
Python, Life
No.
of Brian. No, you
Haven't.
haven't seen any Monty Python.
No, I haven't. My dad's a huge Monty Python fan.
Well, he's seen it. Maybe we should have him.
Borat. Have you guys
Nope,
seen Borat?
haven't seen that.
Fuck. Okay.
Didn't he have like a movie that was similar that he made to
Bruno.
Borat? I saw that one. With
Yeah.
the switch hitter.
Emperor's New Groove.
Treasured classic.
No.
Really? That's a damn shame. Wait, hold on. This
Fight
actually-
Club.
No, haven't seen it.
Oh my god.
I
Wallace
saw
and
that-
Gromit.
No.
What's that one?
Wallace and Gromit?
Forrest Gump.
No idea. I saw
Haven't seen
Forrest
it.
Gump. Really? You didn't see Forrest Gump?
No.
So I hope
There's
our-
got to be one. There's
I
got to
hope
be
the
one.
production team is listening. to
Goodwill
this.
Hunting.
I started watching
Maybe
it. I
a
haven't
long
finished it.
time ago.
Okay. 12 Monkeys.
No
Haven't
clue.
heard of it.
Really?
Calm down, for Christ's sakes.
Saving Private Ryan.
Not all the way through. I know. I'm contributing to this.
Untrue. As they continue to scroll through any old movie that someone may have seen,
Not even
Chicken
just old, but like just
any
movies that-
movie that any of the three
Just
of
give
us
us a movie.
have seen. Jaws.
Wait, Shrek the Musical. What the fuck is
Never
that?
seen that.
I have not.
What-
That is a treasured classic though.
What about the summertime? Jaws. Have you ever seen that?
A while ago.
Yes,
Very
I have.
long. Very long time.
I don't
ago.
want to spoil it for
I
anyone,
barely remember it.
but the girl got eaten.
Fuck.
Oh no. You mean the one we see on the front of the box?
The Lego movie.
The one we see in the first 5 minutes of the film?
Have
you-
The one who gets eaten in the first 5 minutes
Well-
of the film?
Have you guys seen the Lego movie?
No.
No.
Oh my god. Okay.
Finding Nemo.
I've seen Finding Nemo.
Yes, I've seen Finding
Now,
Nemo.
what did you think of that? Would you consider it a treasured classic?
This is the one that we settled on out of all. It's Finding Nemo.
I would consider it a treasured classic.
You would?
I'm not sure if I treasure it as much as other people do.
Yeah.
First of all, the animation, the actual physical animation of the characters
Good for the time.
isn't bad.
Yeah.
But the landscapes are so barren. There's no background. There's so little like foliage, and I know it's underwater, but like
Foliage.
there's not a lot of like kelp or anything. There's just
Kelp.
a lot lacking into the
I'm
detail.
going to guess there's a lot of people that went to see Finding Nemo that weren't thinking about how much kelp there was
Well,
in
no,
the
'cause-
movie. Did
'cause
you
if-
think about the kelp
Every second.
every single time?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you look at like a modern animated film,
That's the thing though.
like,
Modern.
Well, yeah,
Because back then they didn't have as big of a budget. To,
Yeah,
It's
and
2003.
their
It wasn't
computers-
exactly
it would have
ancient.
taken so long to render.
well, yeah, their computers couldn't handle it, which is why like
Yeah.
it's good for the time, but it hasn't aged well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I look forward to that. All right, for
Phrasing.
my co-hosts, Steve Swampscott, Kyle the Independent, I'm Dan. Until we speak again, you and yours, be well.